Test. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the beginning of the first part of the press conference after Octagon 67 here in Třinec Work Arena. This tournament gave us fast finishes, surprising announcements, and a title fight. Now it's time for the members of the press to give questions to the first half of the fighters. To my right, Milan Dětalenka, Daniel Ligotsky, and Tomáš Mudroch. Well, they're sitting in a different order, but that's fine. To my left, Lucie Sabová, Jaime Cordero, and Daniel Škvor. And now it's time for your questions. The first question is for Dan Škvor. You had a very fast finish today, after 10 months. Not even 30 seconds. Isn't it a little bit of a pity? Wouldn't you have tried a little bit more, show a little bit more of what you trained for? Well, yeah, it's a pity, but I didn't want to stay there for much longer. Whenever a fight ends quickly, it's very important for the fighter, but it doesn't get you as far as longer fights. The next fight is Mark Dusis. You mentioned that he's very dangerous for your style. But this will be in your home ground, Karlovy Vary. You're from Cheb, so that's close. How important is this upcoming fight for you? And do you think it will move you closer to the title shot? Yeah, definitely, it's an important fight, but every single fight is important. It needs to be a winning fight, too, if you want to move closer to the title. Yeah, he's very good in wrestling, so I need to change my preparation and really focus on that in my training. And I'm really happy that we're moving Octagon into smaller towns. Octagon is huge, it's so strong and powerful. So in my opinion, it's really great that we're moving to my home turf, and I'm really looking forward to it. One more question. You used to be one of the most active fighters of Octagon. Do you want to be this active again, or what's your tempo? Yeah, definitely at least 3 fights every year. If that's at all possible, you know, my health, I've lived for a long time, so we'll see. A question for Tomáš Mudroch. You entered Octagon as a finisher. You had spectacular finishes. Did you think about delivering such a huge finish here in Octagon? Yeah, of course I wanted to show my best here at my premiere in Octagon, and it worked out. I'm incredibly happy. In the end, it was the up kick and then the ground and pound. Do you think you'll get the bonus for this week, for this night? Yeah, I didn't see much other fights, but I believe I'll get the bonus. Do you have any other fighters in mind you would like to fight from Octagon? Not at the moment. We will see what Octagon comes up with, but I want to be more active. I had longer breaks between fights, but now I want to remain active. A question for Dan Ligotsky. You talked about Ondřej. You talked to Ondřej about a September fight. Do you have any other fighters you want to fight? No other tournaments I'm thinking about right now. My weight is really good. I'm happy doing 84 in a week, so I can cut that easily. So whenever I get the opportunity, I can do it. Do you have any names in mind? No specific names, no. It has to be in 84. You know, this was my first fight, so I won't be going over my head. A question for Lucie Sabová. Another win. Your title shot is really close. It's clear that you need to get it. I'm sure you saw Lucie Pudilová fighting Bolander. So what can you take away from that fight for your preparation? Well, I never saw that fight because I was ill. So I need to rewatch it, I need to watch it. But I'll prepare the same way as I do. I'll get a camp somewhere abroad and it'll be fine. So I'll try a different question. So the fashion police really gave a shot at you. So what was it like being critiqued by the fashion police? You know, I don't care in the slightest. I felt fine. I can take criticism, but it really doesn't do anything with me. Now, a question for Dan. There was some criticism of your opponent, so would you like to talk about your health? There were some complications, the fight might not have happened. Yeah, it was really tough. I had to go to the ER with a colleague at the emergency. It was an infection I took in the train. No, but that had nothing to do with my opponent. So my opponent had a good record, and they can't really vet every single opponent. I have a running contract, and we wanted the organization to help us, to give us a fighter, a third in a row who actually worked out. And we are professional fighters. I haven't fought for 10 months. I needed to fight, so I was pressuring the organization to give me a fight, to get ready for another one. So I think we were mutually respectful. My opponent had a better record, more fights, so yeah, we didn't worry about it. So Marian asked you that it was a quick fight, but a quick win could be good for your preparation for Dusis, right? Yeah, it is good, but it's not good because you don't really get into the tempo, into the fighting tempo. But on the other hand, from every fight I had some injury, I needed to recover. But right now, after this, I can start training on Wednesday. The question for Dan and Tomáš. So your entering the octagon was really hyped up. So did it live up to your expectations? So I'll start. Yeah, it did live up to my expectations. It was an incredible experience. You know, I had the home crowd. That was amazing. I really enjoyed it. And we're moving on. Hey, the same for me. Of course, I would have been happier to have a debut in Ostrava, my home turf, but this is close enough. I really felt like at home here. Question to Dan. You said you wanted to fight someone from Game Changer. Tonight we had 3 fights from Game Changer, including the reserve fight. So how do you rate the fights that took place? And who would you like to fight from these guys, from the Game Changer? I don't want to call out anyone, but I'm open to anything if I get the opportunity. I liked the fights that I saw tonight, but we will see who steps up, you know. It's not just these 3 fights, it's the entirety of Game Changer. It's middleweight, you know, and whoever falls out of the bracket, I'd like to, you know, take him on, take those people. And we will talk about this with the promoters, of course. And now a question to Lucia. So now we're expecting you to go for a title fight, but why did you have one more fight before your title fight? Well, I was supposed to fight in December, but I was sick, so I couldn't fight, and I didn't want to just stay idle. I wanted to fight before the title fight, so that's the reason. Now a question to Jamie. So you're a knockout artist, but now you finished your opponents with 2 submissions. So how would you rate your progress in grappling on the ground?
So I started with Muay Thai like over 10 years ago, and that's my base pretty much. I started grappling like 3 or 4 years ago, grappling and wrestling. So the progress line is still going up. So I'm learning from month to month. I'm keeping on learning new stuff. So it's not like I'm even on 100% yet. So I'm getting better and better and better. And I will keep on going on getting better on grappling, on wrestling. So you might see another submission. You might see something else. I just want to let my future opponents know I'm ready for whatever comes. So, yeah.
Jaime, make it for once, make it clear. Is it Jamie or Jaime?
Actually, if we want to be 100%, it's Jaime, because that's the Spanish version. But my mother calls me Jamie because my dad is Jaime, because my father and my grandpa and everyone has the same name in my family. So my father is Jaime and I'm Jamie. So Actually, I'm Jamie, if you want to say it that way.
So, Jaime, Jamie, I'll start with you.
Both is okay. Both is okay for me.
Do you feel like you could be in the prime of the Team Sport Game Changer because of this fight or not?
Definitely. I think in this game, everything can happen. I think one punch can change the whole business, the whole game. We can see with the Pukac and Kozma fight, I didn't expect it to go this way, but it went this way. So yeah, everything can happen in the fight game, and it just has to be one punch that lands really good, and I have the power for one punch. So yeah, just one punch that has to hit, and I think if it's yeah, it just has to hit the right guy at the right time, and it's over. It doesn't matter who it is.
Why you didn't expect this instead of Kozma and Pukac fight?
I don't know, actually, because of I saw the fight with Christian Jungwirth, and I thought, okay, Christian dominated him pretty much most of the time, and Kozma was the champ. I don't know. I don't know if I expected more from Kozma, but yeah, seems like Pukac is a stronger guy than I thought. So yeah, respect to him, respect to both of them. But yeah, I just didn't expect it.
Also respect to you, thank you so much. Prejdem k Ľudské Sabovej, riešila sa tu nejaká módna policia?
Lucia, we were talking about fashion police, and what I want to know is, what would you tell them today?
Povedala by som, že make-up som mala.
I would say that I was wearing makeup,
Pekný aj bez make-upu.
but I think people are also pretty without makeup.
Máš okolo seba veľa mužov, súhlasíte?
You have a lot of men around you. Do you guys agree?
Tuto, Daniel, ak sa môžem opýtať...
Danielle, here's a question for you. You were talking about Game Changer, but who do you think is going to win this round in the 84 category? I think Engizek, the champion, he's a sparring partner at the gym that I train at sometimes, so yeah. And the same question for you, Milan. Who do you think will win? I also think Engizek will win. Or Peñas. Those two are the favorites. I would love to fight, or I would love to see the fight between Engizek and Peñas. That would be an interesting one. But if I were to name one person, I'm definitely going to root for Peñas. He's from the Czech, Slovak area, so yeah.
Taká tá klišoidná otázka, ale záujem.
Here's a cliche question.
Ako vidíš ty
How
svojho supera?
do you see the opponent?
Napadá ťa niekto, kto by ti vyhovoval, alebo...
And what do you think about the next person that you'll take on? Who is it gonna be? I've never had any beef with anybody. I always get on well with my opponents in one way or another. I'm an athlete, so there's no beef. I have no idea. Nobody that I specifically want to take on. I don't care, to be honest. I don't pick my opponents. And of course, if they offer me fights where I see there's no point in doing them, then I might not be happy about taking that on. But I don't want to talk about feelings, because that's gay. But there's just chaos in my head for now.
Yes, rozumiem a ďakujem.
I understand and thank you. Milan, back to your fight. What's your reaction? Because you haven't talked about it yet. There's nothing to talk about, really. That's what fight life is like. You make a small mistake and you get punished in a big way. My opponent was well prepared, and tonight's fight really played into his cards. I think that this is what sport is like. You win some, you lose some. And my opponent was the well-prepared one tonight. Last question. You did not tap out, but did you think about doing so? He managed to put me in a lock there very quick. and I did not plan on tapping out for 1 second. It was so fast I didn't even have time to think about it. Maybe if I felt me blacking out, I would have tapped out, but no, I don't know.
Tak pokud je to tedy vše.
Thank you very much. If those are all the questions, that's been the first part of the press conference. But don't go anywhere because we're going to be back with the second round in a couple of minutes. And you'll also see Paolo Neruda and Ondřej Novotný hosting that part of the press conference.
OKTAGON's most prestigious championship belt is waiting for its next owner. Lazar Todev already lost his chance to claim the heavyweight title once before. The rematch against Hatif Moel didn't happen, as his opponent was unable to control his emotions and failed to show up in Munich. Todev's new challenger bears a name that inspires maximum respect and anticipation in OKTAGON. Will Fleury. After earning a hard-earned victory over the Terminator at Prague's O2 Arena, he wants to hold not one, but 2 OKTAGON titles at the same time.
I have a lot more to do. Watch 2025.
Christian Jungwirth returns, and he'll be fighting on home soil. After losing to Ekelin, the time has come to reclaim his immortal Celt nickname and become Stuttgart's king of MMA.
We'll do it again!
An arena full of 12,000 screaming fans will witness Christian Jungwirth take on bold Czech warrior Marek Barta.
Erste Runde Submission.
Konečně můj vysnívaný zápas, pojďme na to.
Be there in the flesh and experience the very best of European MMA. OKTAGON 68, Todev versus Fleury. On the 8th of March at the Hans-Martin Schleyer Halle, Stuttgart. Tickets available at oktagontickets.de or watch live on oktagon.tv. World champions and their emotional stories. An electric atmosphere. An unforgettable experience. OKTAGON MMA.
Welcome on press conference after OKTAGON 67 in Třinec, in the city of Steelers. Delivered great fights, amazing tournament. First time here in this arena, in this city. And fans was just great, same as the fights and what these fighters delivered tonight. So thanks to everyone who was here in person or watching on OKTAGON TV or RTL Plus in Germany. I think we all enjoyed this tournament. In the Neruda Cup, the companies make a progress. Company Progressus is in second place thanks to Cordero and Stanton, and Tipsport is in lead with 8 points thanks to Sabova and Samsonidze. And the performance of the night.
Yeah, tips for výkon večera, tips for performance of the night. Obviously, Prince Bratislavský Robo Pukač, 5,000 euro.
Thank you, guys.
First question.
Ja by som začal u vás, páni.
Let me start with the promoters.
Začal by som povedzme, že od konca.
Let's start with the end. And what I want to know is, I don't want to talk crap about the title bout, but we're in Třinec. This is a new city for you as an organization. And we know that the locals like the fights with the locals in them. Have you given it any thought for the title bout being second last and keeping Pukač and Kozma for last? No, we didn't think about it at all. That's not what we do. This is not sport. This is not a question you ask when it comes to title bouts. And all due respect, the title is what counts most. I cannot but agree. But on the other hand, it's a fan event. That's why I asked. We do it for the people. We do it for the fans. And the fans are what drive this organization. So that's why I was just wondering. No, the title is the highest level of achievement, so that's why it was last. And how were you satisfied with today's performances? In my opinion, it slapped. The title bout, that is what counts the most for the fighters. Sometimes, in every organization, sometimes the title fight is just not the best performance, the fan favorite. And they don't do it for the show, they do it for getting the title and because they want to defend the title. So that is the problem with title fights. But if you are a core fan, you will find enjoyment in those fights as well. You had the 67, number 68 side by side, and they could have made the show happen, but that's not what it was. And for the average fan, of course, it was not a great fight. People kept asking me, like, yeah, what was this boring fight? But I respect this. I respect the opinion, but I just explained what the problem is. It was a spectacular evening. We had 6 finishes. The arena had fun. We were nearly sold out except for a couple dozen spots. So we're very happy about the vibe of the night. How I feel about this? Great tournament. People had fun at the end. They showed us that they found enjoyment tonight. People liked the product that we gave them. So it was perfect according to me. I didn't want to hint at any specific fights, but I was talking about the arena specifically because I myself saw how many people left after Pukač versus Kozma. I saw that about the arena getting empty. I didn't think that the title fight was boring. I enjoyed it. But it probably would have been tactical to switch the order around. Was it strategical? Or like it would have been strategical because people left after Kozma Pukač. Another question for Robo Pukač, who got the bonus of the night tonight. Robo. Is it good enough of an award? Yeah. I was hoping that I would get it, but I didn't see all the fights. And this is the cherry on top of tonight. You called out Christian Eckerlin. You want to face off against him in Germany, I assume? Well, wherever I can. I think it will take a month or two because my arm is kind of messed up. And there's some big management in play. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they find an event for me where they would make this work. I'm just a boy who tries things. You said that at the post-fight interview. Yeah, so I'm trying. I'm trying my luck. And we'll see what happens next. But yeah, I did think about it. I thought that that might be the good next step. And we'll see what the bosses say.
Bosses? What's your answer? Well, it's still the same question, but I'm happy that Robo is successful in what he's doing. Hey, we don't book the fights here at press conferences, but Robo's challenge is definitely something that Christian cannot shake off. He has 3 wins in a row, and it's definitely possible. Thank you. A question for Robo Pukač. Was this your ideal script? Did you want to defend and then get the finish? Yeah, it was the best possible thing. Maybe I should have just knocked him out with 1 punch, but yeah. You could see that he was really shook after the first real good hit. But yeah, I could see that. But from experience, when you hit David Kozma, he can still come back and recover from that and still get that win. So I really needed to be careful of that. So I waited, I was patient enough in the fight, and I knew I will get another hit. It will land, and I wanted to be patient. This kind of reminds me of Masvidal, who had an up-and-down career, and then he had a very strong year. 2 wins, now a finish against Kozma. You mentioned Eckerlin. We don't know if the fight will happen or not, but yeah. Yeah, when you talked about Eckerlin, he is the king of Germany, so Robo probably won't be the king of Germany, I don't think. He's the Prince of Bratislava. Hey, that's good enough for me. The Prince of Bratislava, that's good enough for me. You know, we're more chill about this now. We don't want any conquests of Germany right now. Of course, we can think about something, but this title, nothing like this would happen. Do you think that Eckerlin would take this fight? Well, he likes challenges, that's for sure. Every fighter who has some kind of ego, he needs to feel this, and it needs to make sense for him as well. And Robo did his absolute best to be interesting. He's doing great numbers as well. The German commentators told me that there's some hype around this immediately after he called Eckerlin out. I like it when fighters know what they want. It's much easier to work with. I've repeated this many times to Robo. He needs to step out of the shadow. And I say this to all the fighters. The fame that you get is not the same for everyone. The money isn't the same for everyone. The possibilities are not the same for everyone. And it sounds stupid, you know, when you compare it to football. But here, it's not enough to just win. If you want to achieve your dreams and just be the guy who tried, you need to keep on trying. Thank you. A question for Miloš. Of course, this loss was a huge hit for you. So what went wrong? I don't think anything went wrong specifically. Just my opponent was much better technically. He was better prepared. You know, nothing but respect to him. He really, I have nothing else to say. I couldn't run away from him. He was dominating me. I was trying to get that bridge. He was really persistent. Hey, once again, nothing but respect for the guy. Nothing else to add. Let's try something more positive. You entered the pyramid, there was a lot of criticism surrounding this, but in the arena you had a lot of support from the fans. There were always opportunities for you to get out of it. I really appreciated this. You know, the fans really supported me. Usually the arenas really push me forward. You know, on the internet people talk shit, but I understand. That's what happens. Whenever I enter the arena though, I really enjoy it. I enjoyed it today, until the match started. A question from Mark Hulm. What an amazing entrance into the pyramid. You finished the last finalist from the last Octagon. So who would you like to fight next?
Hey man, thank you for the question. It was awesome competing in Octagon. What a promotion. I think all the fights were great. And yeah, who I would like to fight next is whoever's the next big sting. They said Andreas Michailidis was a top contender to win. I took him out in under 3 minutes, and I want the next best guy, whoever that is.
V souvislosti s tím jménem se hodně mluví vlastně o šampionovi Drickusi Duplessimu. Chceš on přiblížit?
You know, in connection to you, they always mention Marcus Duplessis, the champ. So how closely do you work together?
We close, man. We close. I've seen him naked a few times. No, we close, and we're walking this road together. I've been there for a lot of parts of his journey, and he's always there for when I need to step up to the plate, and it's a friendship that I cherish, along with CIT MMA and Coach Morné Visser.
Děkuji. Dneska je víc prostoru, já se dám Andrew jenom takovou jako sérii, protože je spoustu různých témat.
So I have many topics today. I'll start with Luther Bach. I don't know how to ask this question specifically. Is it true that Luther Bach signed for more than one fight in Octagon? Can you confirm that? Can I answer, I don't know? Well, I think you should know, but it's possible. Well, okay, I don't know. Okay, I'll try a different question. Is it part of the Octagon contract that during the validity of the contract, he cannot fight in different organizations? Definitely, yeah, that's definitely the case. So there's a big possibility that Lutherbach will be in Octagon during a big part of this year? I don't know. Understood. Let's move on. We've heard a lot of talk about KSW. I don't need any specific reaction from you. But now we saw some criticism from KSW, but you talked about Humburger coming from KSW, and you announced him today. So could you talk us through the background of this connection with Dominic? Well, look, we want to have the best possible fighters in our organization. I was surprised that Dominic was at the end of his contract. Most of the people should have known that. I respect contracts. I don't want to be the kind of guy who does, you know, foul play. I talked to his Czech manager. I approached him. What's the word in Czech? Yes, so I tried to talk to him. And I said to him, hey, is it true that his contract is ending? When the contract finishes, I'm interested. I would like to take him into the Game Changer. The manager told me we have one last fight in Liberec. So I answered, okay, until then, we don't need to talk about this at all, but we're interested at the end of the contract. And we will leave it for the night after. And I'm interested in him entering the Tip Sport Game Changer. And this fight was so interesting for me that I really wanted to do a lot for it. Yesterday, they won. I contacted the manager, we called, we had some offers, and Dominic really wanted to go with us, and we found a way. So now it looks that KSW didn't really know about these things, but it was a public secret of sorts. Of course, if he had lost, it would have been a different story, but they looked like they were surprised that Dominic is entering Octagon. I don't know how to answer, so you mentioned it, you really informed about this, so you wrote about this.
Ale myslím, že o tom psali vlastně, že jste všichni to nějakým
Maybe people from KSW don't follow MMA shorties. That's possible. You know, there were speculations, that's for sure. So it's kind of weird that people from KSW would be in a vacuum, they wouldn't know anything. But that's not for me to worry about. We're on the same market and we want what's best for us. Let's move on for the next topic, Kincel Muradov, a much expected fight. We've been waiting for this for years. So the fight will take place. Is it just a question of a title fight or not a title fight? So if Mach loses, it would not be a title fight?
Já to strašně nerad dělám.
Well, I really don't like doing this. We wanted to announce Patrick's fight. We already had an agreement, and Mach also said he didn't want to wait for that long, so we gave him a tough fight. I said the interim title fight will take place if Mach wins his closest fight. And if not, everything's on the table.
So David couldn't react to his loss, and we all know he has a special place in your heart and in the organization. But what do you think the future holds for him? David is just so personal for me. He's such a close fighter. I'm the one who brought him to Marek Jončák to the gym. And when he was at the GCF, I went with him to his fights. I was with him in the dressing room. This was all before Octagon was even around. So, just talking about it, I feel a little teary-eyed, to be honest. And anything David wants, he can have. You were also talking about Bojan Veličković. There was no Kincel Veličković, but can you tell us more about what we can expect? There's something breathtaking in the works. And we hope that you wait to find out as a surprise. We were also talking about Keita Sivak. The community has been mulling it over at Eden, possibly. I haven't heard about it much, but there's been whispers and speculations. So, what do you have to say? I'm not aware of these rumors. A lot of things are said, but I don't think I've ever said anything about this. This looks like a press conference made specifically for me. There was a huge announcement. Let me come back to that. Was that offer on the table specifically for the Game Changer? Or if he lost, would you still be interested in taking him on as a middleweight fighter? Both. We would have been interested in him, win or lose. Ronnie Paradeser is switching divisions. He's going up a division. Do you think that this is going to be a definitive switch to the welterweight category? He wanted the 73 with Shamrock, but it wasn't the fight for me. He accepted a fight with Lom Ali Eskiev, and I think that's going to be interesting for all our viewers. And so until we're through Munich, there's nothing to talk about there. On Tuesday, I'll start thinking about any future matchups for these guys. How is David health-wise? Do you have any info from the hospital? I just have some basic info. I know how Veronica's doing. I know how other people are doing, but he definitely went for a checkup. It shouldn't be anything too bad. Of course, I'm sad about it, but it's not a huge health risk. And he's gonna get a CT scan, but that's not gonna be tonight. Beno Adamia, congratulations tonight. You had a huge support in the UFC Georgian fighters. How much did they fuel you today? Medup cheering you on, sending you his greetings, or Roman Doleze?
Yeah, they are motivating me so much. You know, that's a huge for me. Huge. My name now is like world champion, Octagon. World champion I am, and that's a huge. They are supporting me all the time. Muradov was in Tbilisi in my gym. We meet, we get like some info about this fight and talk like this, and he's supporting me so much. Muradov, him.
Jak se obecně ví, v Gruzii je teď velice složitá politická situace.
As we know, in Georgia, the political situation is quite complicated. So how hard was it preparing in that environment? Did it influence you? Did it motivate you, wanting to prove something for your country?
Yes, that's stressful situation in Georgia, but you know, everything will be like okay when people like have voice. It will be okay. It needs a little bit time. I have no time to go there and support my people, but now I will have time a little bit and I will go there and support them.
A ještě teda zpět k zápasení, jak aktivní chceš být šampion? Přece ta divize není.
So you want to be a champion, you want to keep being a champion. There's not a lot of names in the division, maybe David Dvořák, but not a lot of fighters in Europe. So any names in mind?
Možná Žalgas Zhumagulov.
What about Žalgas Zhumagulov?
Yeah, I think so. The Žalgas have like Žalgas need to fight to the title because he won one fight in the flyweight. Yeah, Dvořák is now in Octagon, but he did not fight in Octagon yet. He have to like open something, do win some fight, one fight or two fights. It's no matter. One fight it will be enough for I think so. But Žalgas, I think Žalgas is the next. I hope so. It will be in June. I will be ready. Tomorrow I get up morning and do like same like every day. Go and train. You know, no time to rest. Waste the time like.
Otázka na promotéry. Máte zájem?
Question for the promoters. Are you interested in David Dvořák taking part in the flyweight division? He doesn't have a long-term contract right now. He's another name right now. He's another potential home champion. We have been talking about it over a long period of time. David deserves a comeback fight for sure. That's the first step. And then his time might come. The 57 weight category has a lot of names there. And I'm glad that David has been given some names, dates, places. And Žalgas is a great candidate for the next face-off. It would be a global level fight. It would make a lot of sense what Benno said. Last question for Mick Stanton. Congratulations on your win. Is there anybody in the division, in the people who have moved on, who look enticing to you for the next fight? We have Peñas, we have other ones.
I'll be honest, I think I will smash every single one of them. I'm not worried. Whoever you give me, I'm going to run through them. Tonight was a dominant performance. I could have got him out of there, but I enjoyed doing the 3 rounds and beating him up, and I will do the same to every other opponent you give me.
Jiří Barta, MMA bez masky, já bych začal možná u Sema.
When you fought in England, the atmosphere was better. People were cheering for you more. Did you feel that tonight while fighting?
I think tonight my style was a little bit too countery, and I do feel I landed probably the better shots of the fight, but I don't feel I did enough in there, and you know, I can only blame myself for that.
Přešel bych na Marka Hulmeho. Marku, o tebe Paolo řekl, že bys mohl být
Paolo said about you that you could be the South African Khabib. Do you feel yourself to be that way?
I don't know who that is, but I'm here to be the best fucking me that I can and smash any fool who says otherwise.
A poslední otázka na Micka Stantona.
Last question for Mick Stanton. This fight looked similar to Miloš's last fight with Pitts. Is this a fight that you focused on and said this is the way to beat him?
No, it's just a style that I've produced, training at ASW in the barn. It's what we do best. Fighting, take down, control, beat the opponent up and win.
Anybody else? It's got a question? No? I just wanna say that Mr. Jimenez and Mr. Samsonidze, it was crazy fight, especially thank you that you came, and I believe that we will see you again. Congratulations for a crazy fight. Also for you, Mark, but it was for Mr. Jimenez. I will see you. I will see you in after party and then in Vari. And also congratulations to Nico, crazy fight, and to all other fighters who performed today. So thank you very much, guys. We will see you in that after party on the hotel, and you guys in 2 weeks, I believe, in Stuttgart. Thank you very much. Bye.
World champions and their emotional stories. An electric atmosphere. An unforgettable experience. OKTAGON MMA. OKTAGON's most prestigious championship belt is waiting for its next owner. Lazar Todev already lost his chance to claim the heavyweight title once before. The rematch against Hatif Moel didn't happen, as his opponent was unable to control his emotions and failed to show up in Munich. Todev's new challenger bears a name that inspires maximum respect and anticipation in OKTAGON. Will Fleury. After earning a hard-earned victory over the Terminator at Prague's O2 Arena, he wants to hold not one, but 2 OKTAGON titles at the same time.
I have a lot more to do. Watch 2025.
Christian Jungwirth returns, and he'll be fighting on home soil. After losing to Ekelin, the time has come to reclaim his immortal Celt nickname and become Stuttgart's king of MMA.
We'll do it again!
An arena full of 12,000 screaming fans will witness Christian Jungwirth take on bold Czech warrior Marek Barta.
Erste Runde Submission.
Konečně můj vysnívaný zápas, pojďme na to.
Be there in the flesh and experience the very best of European MMA. OKTAGON 68, Todev versus Fleury. On the 8th of March at the Hans-Martin Schleyer Halle, Stuttgart. Tickets available at oktagontickets.de or watch live on oktagon.tv.